Welcome to Rob's Rogues in the Batman Universe.net. As you can tell, I bought one. Today we're taking a look at the Mattel Walmart exclusive Ultimate Batcave, Mega Batcave as they're written in other languages, Mega Batcavia playset. Contains one playset, one figure. This was kind of shown, I believe, at San Diego Comic-Con earlier this year. We had heard rumors about there being a Batman versus Superman playset, and it was kind of debunked after a while, saying, oh, it wasn't real, or it was something that Mattel was thinking about doing. There we can see the Mattel logo right there. And then we started seeing actual pictures of it, and I gotta say, the turnaround from the time the pictures were revealed to the time that this was seen in stores, to me seemed rather fairly quickly, with probably in a month or two, which means by the time the information got out, it was already in production. At the most, at my couple Walmarts that I go to, I see no more than two on the shelf because it is very large, and it's coming in at a whopping price tag of $99. $99 even, which is odd for Walmart since a lot of their prices end in like 97 or 96 or something of that nature. The only way I was able to get this is thanks to my lovely wife, so thank you very much, hon. Hi, thanks. She got a nice little bonus at work, and she was like, does Robbie want something? And I was like, Robbie wanty playsetty. So I've always been a sucker for the playsets. I have the Batman Forever playset, which was essentially Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond playset, the Wayne Manor playset that's been used numerous times, and there really hasn't been another playset for action figures since about the last one technically being Batman Beyond, which was essentially the Batman Returns playset. There. All that being said, there hasn't been one that's been in 6-inch action figure scale. Now, we see, I keep going over, here's the exclusive Batman Bruce Wayne unmasked Batman, which I gotta say, he does have a little bit of the gray beard, which in some lights does make him look like it's a white beard. I think with a little bit of doctoring, we can kind of make that look like stubble. But as far as unmasked Batmans go, this has been the best one that Mattel has released. And this is in the $9.99 scale, which was initially the Batman Unlimited line, then became kind of like their kids line. So they're a little bit shorter than 6-inch action figures, but I believe the scale does work for 6-inch action figures. So your DC UC figures, for the most part, should work in here. Probably some DC collectibles figures will work in here, and I will run through a bunch of those. But I believe it's actually technically made for that lower level line of figures, which you can kind of see right here. So this is very large, and I apologize for the lighting in here. I'm going to do a lot of this handheld, obviously, or the tripod, you're only going to get it from this view. But you can see there's a spot for the Batmobile, which does not come with this. I didn't pick up his Batmobile because I thought it was really kind of cheap and chintzy. But we have, there is armor, snap-on armor for this Batman to give him like the armored up version that is attached to this. We see like the Robin wardrobe case in here, and I'll get into that once we look inside of it. There are some weapons that your figures do come with that you can hang in here. There are 12 removable weapons, so in case you've lost some, you do have some extras, which is really kind of cool. It is thought of after, or it is kind of a companion to Batman versus Superman, and we'll look at some of the aesthetics. The other side of this is sideways, so bear with me a second here. We'll set you down very briefly. There we go. Apologize about that. So it clocks in at 125 meters probably, and for people that use feet here in the US. It's about 4 foot in height. It is one-sided, so I believe a Dumbass Reviewer has said all the cardboard stuff that you see here as I'm going off screen is just a cardboard backing to some of this stuff. So I believe just some of these pieces in here and kind of some of the designs you're seeing in the rock wall and in spots like here and in here are just a cardboard backing. But I'm okay with that. Just come with a bat signal. It doesn't light up. Would really like it if the Collect and Connect Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight Rises bat signal would fit there. That'd be pretty cool. Probably not. So very cool. There's a lot to look at here. This is the approximate size of the figure that you're getting in the package. So it's just about 6 inches figure. So if it's just about for a 6-inch action figure, and you can kind of see in here, he's not quite reaching the roof here, so I think a 6-inch action figure would work. We will look at all of that in here. So thank you to my lovely wife for allowing me to pick up the Batman Barbie Dream House here. So we'll be right back in just a few minutes, and I may even do like a put together quick high-speed video. We'll see how that works. I may have to film it from clear across the room, but we'll be right back. We'll get a closer look at the Bruce Wayne Batman figure and then all of this in its glory. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Yay, I want to play! Alright, first things first before we get into the actual Batcave itself, and I don't know how I'm going to fit it on this review table. It's probably going to have to be done handheld downstairs in my living room, and then thinking, where the hell am I going to put this thing? But before we get there, a figure that a lot of people have been kind of wanting is this particular unmasked version of Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, aka Ben Affleck. The sculpt on the Ben Affleck Batman is really good, considering it's a Mattel figure. Now, in the light, he does have the 5 o'clock shadow in the movie. With all the review lights on, it's more of a beard. It's almost like he looks in the Justice League trailer that we've seen so far, where he is talking to Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. He has more of a white beard. So what I would kind of like to do is darken this up a little bit if I can. I don't want to make it look too beardish. It's not so bad looking at it off camera with the review lights not being so bright. It doesn't look as Santa Claus-ish as it does. So I haven't seen anybody really do any customizing of this in the face, but I may take a crack at it and just try and darken it up a little bit, but I don't want to darken up so much that it just looks like it's a beard. I know he's supposed to have a little bit of pepper, salt and pepper in his beard, but this looks more salt than it does pepper. Now I'm going to bring up the other multiverse figure. This is night and day out of the two figures. This is the Toys R Us exclusive unmasked Batman, which I did like this in my initial review. I thought this was a decent looking figure, but as far as the bodysuit goes, it's pretty much standard, but the face is a little off, and but you do see they got the 5 o'clock shadow here better than what it is here. Let's get the two side by side. Let's try and do this a little bit better here. But one is clearly Ben Affleck, and the other one is not. It's just a pseudo face. So what I'm going to do is do a head swap for the two, and I do have a suited body, so I have even thought about just putting this head on a suited body. Not that I need one for this particular Batman. He can just stay as it is. But this could be my new suited Bruce Wayne head. So I'm really hoping that Mattel's pegs and ball and sockets are the same, that I can swap these two out. So we'll see in just a moment. Before we do that, we should probably take a look at the figure. It's been a little bit here, Rob. So these are the standard $9.99 figures you find at Walmart, Target, whatever, probably more for the kids line. The articulation is very, very basic. The head looks left to right. That's it, no up or down. He looks like he's kind of in a downward look. There's no ball and socket rotating. It's just a standard action figure articulation. With one exception, he does have a bend at the elbow, nothing at the wrist, kind of the oversized hands. No waist swivel. He does have legs that go back and forth. Actually, they don't go back at all. They just go forward and no back at all. And there is a bend at the knee. So in the Batcave playset, you can set him in a chair and he can sit there and be at the Batcave. No cape, no cowl. So this is just how this figure comes. So now we'll take a look and see if I can get the head off this guy, and we'll try a couple different head swaps and see how it works. All right, we have the heads off, and I put it on the suited body that I was using for the Christian Bale head, and it kind of sort of works, kind of sort of doesn't. The head is too big. Almost not too big. It probably should be setting up a little higher. I mean, the head is a little too big. Again, it's the kid size of action figures, so the proportions are a little bit bigger. The peg hole is smaller on this Christian Bale head. This is actually the Harvey Dent body here, but worked really good to have a suited Bruce Wayne, as I almost dropped him in the water there. But you can kind of see what it looks like as you're hearing everything fall here in the room. Apologize about that. So this head is probably not going to be the head I'm going to use. The ball and peg is a little bit bigger. Here's the actual head. So it's not really meant for this. I mean, it could work in a pinch. If I had a different suited body, I would. But this head works much better. So kind of get it seated down a little bit. So there's that one. So this one I am going to put on. I'm going to drop it in my water here. Got some hot water. It's not really overly hot right now. It's I've had it out of the microwave just for a little bit, but it's a little warm. Just want to get the hole opened up. And there I've got the head swap on. I think this one is seated down just a little bit more than the standard one is, but I think it works much, much better. I think I could probably pull this up a little bit more, but it doesn't look near as bad. It doesn't look awkward like it did on the suited body. So I think this works really pretty well. He's kind of hunched back a little bit and kind of recess his head a little bit more. So does have full rotation now, can look up a little bit more than what he could on this body. So I like him. This is how I'm going to have this one stand now. So I think it actually works really pretty good. So what we're going to do now is figure out how we're going to get this guy in the review with the Batcave. We'll be right back in just a moment. Okay. I apologize for the shakiness of this. I've got to go handheld. I'm not in my review room, as you can see. I'm in my kitchen. Okay, so this is the best lit room in the house, and so I just decided to film it here. So hopefully this is okay. There's a lot to go over. I shouldn't say a lot. There's just a lot of different, there's different working parts in the Batcave and just different setup options that you can have. I put together the main one that was in the instruction manual, and I gotta say the instruction manual was pretty thick. I thought it was gonna be a pamphlet, but there was a lot of pieces to put in and on, and stickers to paint, or stickers to put on, and I painted a part of it. I may paint a few other pieces here. We'll kind of go by layers. So I've got the Suicide Squad Deadshot sitting up here on top of the gargoyle. Obviously, you can put Batman, Robin, Nightwing, or whomever. This will work with any line of figures, being DC UC, DC Direct, DC Collectibles, any of the Mattel stuff. Any of the 6-inch scale figures will fit in here, even though it was technically designed for the $9.99, the Power Attack line, kinda, sort of, if you remember that, like the oversized hands. the Bruce Wayne that I showed you in the beginning of the video. I've just got different variations of figures. I just grabbed random ones from different lines so you can see how well they work. So here are the Arkham figures. Batman, Robin, and Commissioner Gordon standing here, although there is a trapdoor that'll be for use later. The bat signal here is just a mirrored piece from light from the camera. If I can turn this around, I don't know if it'll shine. Hopefully you're picking that up right here. Probably not with the glare of the camera. Now what I've thought about doing is putting this bat signal up there. The wire armature here I think will come off and might hold it. I've even thought about taking this whole thing off and just setting this piece up on top, or removing this gray bottom piece with the bat signal on it and setting it up there. The base is decent enough. I think I could get it to hold. There's this piece of cardboard here in the back, which I'm not going to move it right now because I think I've got figures up here that are going to start falling off. This piece comes up and will set here as a little walkway, which then looks kind of funny because the backdrop has a hole in it. The backdrop, I gotta say, is really pretty decent. Again, the light from my camera is creating this extra little moon here. Speaking of the moon, you could pretend, since this bat signal doesn't light up, you would turn it around. There's people are starting to fall already. And then you push this moon here. This is probably gonna cause more people to fall. It locks in here really well, but it spins. Hey, nobody fell. It spins, and then there's the bat signal. So you could kind of get away by not having a light on here. I had the moon set up there. There's a peg hole on this foot for what I'm using for Deadshot right at the moment. It could be for anybody. There are a few peg holes. There's none up here on any of the bases. There, I had Alfred fall down in the Batcave. So I've got Movie Masters figures in here, just things that are mixed. Alfred's tipping the tray since he just fell over. And there is the Capullo series, would be Red Hood, but I took off the armored Batman Bruce Wayne head and put it on the Red Hood body. That's my suited Bruce Wayne from the Capullo series. And you can move over to this side. Here's the elevator. I'll show that in a second. There's a turret up here. My wife's piggy bank. Stay out of it, Robbie. You can put a figure up here. The missile does fire out its green for, you know, kryptonite. Figure would stand back here on the base. If you can see it, if I turn it, I can't turn it around all that way. It's just the top. So a figure would stand here, could hold on. Any of the 6-inch figures will fit up there just fine. I probably should have sat one there. We got Batman and Superman. Batman, armored Batman, BvS, getting ready to fight. I like the panels here. The rain scene from Batman vs. Superman are just, you know, a rain, but it's kind of got that green hue that it was in the movie. So it works pretty good if you've got the two fighting in a shot like this. So it's kind of like the Batcave mixed with other scenes. We have an elevator going into Wayne Manor, but it starts up here on top of a, you know, GCPD. So you're a kid, use your imagination, or you're a big kid. So like I said, all these stickers had to be put on. You can definitely tell this is for Batman vs. Superman. You can see the Batmobile there, the BvS Batmobile, and again, the bat signal light is that emblem. We have a jail cell here, which I'll show the inner workings once I move some of these figures out of the way. A couple peg holes for figures to stand outside of some of these ledges. And there's one here too. And a lot of these things can be moved in different locations. There's one here, so if I wanted to give Gordon a little bit more room or to stand here, as it were, I could just pull this one off, or even this one, and place it up here. So I like that you can kind of mix some of these pieces around, and even the bottom layer once we get down there. So here's the standard figure that comes, standard size figure. This is the Nightmare Batman, obviously. And I have the regular Nightmare Batman just to give you a little size comparison. So you can see the size of the two for the multiverse to this line. There's about an inch difference. So the 999 figures are about 5 inches, and these are 6. And you can see that I have different, even 7-inch figures all working inside of this diorama playset. So it works. This is something I just recently did. Here is the Robin armor section, the wardrobe. Jason Todd Memorial. Man, I can't think today. And there you see I did the head swap. That this was the head that came with the playset on this body type. Not the Nightmare Batman, you know what I mean. So the blue that you see back here, this was all that, Robin was all that blue. There's some of the rogues chiming in. And I thought, me being a huge Robin fan, I want to make it look like it did in BvS. So somebody may be asking, Rob, why did you paint the legs yellow or gold? And in the movie, the Robin suit did not have, its legs on it. It was just the upper torso there. But they made it in the mold. So I was trying to paint it the best I could so it looked just like the cape. So in my mind, that's the cape. So that was the one alteration I did. The staff there was also blue. And that was just one solid piece. But I think it just makes that pop just a little bit more. And then moving down to the fourth layer, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the armored Capullo series Thrasher Batman with the Arkham City Bruce Wayne. And then I've got, I don't have the BvS Batmobile, but I do have a slew of other Batmobiles. This is the 2003 Mattel Batman line Batmobile. And I threw the Batman and Robin movie, Redbird motorcycle there. The Batman and Robin Batgirl motorcycle for the Capullo series, and that actually kind of works pretty good. And there's a turret over there. There is a rope that's here that you can get the figures to slide down, but I'd have to wind it. I feel like it should be out, this whole playset should be out farther. This section I'm showing nothing there. But it says to wrap the excess rope around and then hook it onto this side. So there's a couple different options. It comes with a bunch of accessories, one of which actually comes with the Nightmare Batman that's right here. So we've got an extra. Again, that's the $9.99. So a lot of these things fit better in the $9.99 figures, but any of the other figures that have an open hand can hold all these accessories. So I've got an extra set of cuffs that came with the Suicide Squad Batman, and I think I have the bag for that somewhere. I'll have to find that in a second. Wouldn't you know it, when I went on camera here, I misplaced the bag. I'll find it. I've got it. But a lot of these are replicated that came with the BvS Batman. The grenades, there are those. An extra grapnel blaster, so now I have 3 of these. And they're not painted like they were originally. And then the rubber batarangs. And they all fit back in there. So I'm going to put all of these weapons in these pegs, and we'll do some sliding around of the doors. We'll all right, got all the weapons here, and I lost a batarang somewhere. So there are the weapons that are on, and then this whole panel rotates, so they can be hidden, as it were. That's pretty cool. And you can see how the detail is on some of the other panels going through. I like the detail here in the elevator, which is like the same material and detail that was in the BvS chamber for the bat suit. Here's like a punching bag for Batman to hit. It's pretty cool. The elevator does move, as I'm losing a camera battery. So this will go up and down. There's a peg hole for the figure there. Let's see some of the other workings and gimmicks that are on the place. Alright, I'm not going to try to get into it, but you can see how big this thing is. A couple little features here. I'm going to hopefully get this to work. I've got Robin sitting here. Maybe we should have him over on this side just so he's out of the way. Big kid playing with his toys. So, there's a couple features with some trap doors, and it's pretty slick how this works out to be able to use all of this. This computer panel right here, which again I showed you earlier, but this I'll get a close up here in just a second. But this will slide, and it'll cause this trap door to open first, and then once it reaches over to this farther section, it'll release this trap door so the figure can fall through 2 levels. I about knocked everybody over, and land in the jail cell. So I've got the 66 Batman 66 figures, Batman, Robin, and Penguin here. So let's see if I can get this to work in one shot here. So I think you'll be able to see this door go first, and then the Penguin should fall like a second afterwards. So here we go. 1, 2, there it goes. Down in the jail cell. So that's a pretty slick trick, that how they've got the different pieces to be able to work. There is one more set. The thing with the elevator here, there are 2 stops. You get to a certain spot and it locks in place. So you have to use a little bit of pressure, and I'm probably going to knock 2 figures off. This is the only thing I don't like about it. There's not a release mechanism here. See, I can't even do it from the front. There it goes. So now Robin's in jail with the Penguin, so let's pull him out. So then the panel just goes right back, and then there's 2 levers right here that move each of the sides up, and then you're back in business again. I'll reposition the camera and I'll show you the other little gimmick that this thing. All right. Oh my gosh, the Joker is going to attack Bruce Wayne. How is he going to get out of this? This is the called the Quick Escape Chamber. So not that the Joker couldn't figure out A, who Batman is, and B, where he's going to go, but you would open these doors here, and they're kind of on springs. Bruce Wayne goes in the chamber, and then the green button up here, you'll hear, which causes the Joker to fly back. The doors open, and what happens is down below. Sorry, I had to go handheld again. Can't get the camera on the tripod down this low. So after Bruce Wayne went down, you slide the Robin chamber open, and there he is in the Batcave with his white gloves. I haven't painted a skin tone yet, standing next to the armored suit. Now all these pieces of the armored suit, the legs, the hands, the helmet, and the chest piece, all go on the $9.99 body buck. But so those are all of the real gimmicks. There's a ladder here that can, obviously be used as a ladder in multiple positions, or you can use it as a ramp for the Batmobile, and I've swapped out the Batmobile that I had there and put in the 66 Batmobile next to Robin, which he kind of fell over during all that. And these arms slide and move, so you can make like it's working on the Batmobile or one of the cycles that I had off to the side, just by moving these arms in various positions around the cave. So a lot of these other pieces can go and be used in multiple different fashions. This section right here where I had the bikes after everything fell over, that can be moved over here and come out from this green area. So you can kind of move pieces around. I took off the computer base that was right there, and you can see the tech cowl. This rotates for the grapnel blaster, and one more time for the grenade canister, which I've thought about painting all of these up. So at some point I'm going to do that, just so it looks a little bit more realistic rather than all of this blue. But that's the Batcave in a nutshell. I know this was probably not the best video for it now that I've got everybody out. I'll put up somebody maybe saying, well, what about DCUC figures? DCUC figures work just fine with it. That's the new 52 DCUC Batman. Unlimited, I think, is what technically that is. But this is I'm glad I bought this. I did pay $99 for it at Walmart. And at the time that I'm filming this on Black Friday, it is marked down to $88. So I think if you're like, well, I don't really want to spend $100 on a Batcave, and I don't know, This is pretty cool. I think if you probably wait long enough, it will go on sale because Walmarts are just going to be setting on them. So there's the penguin down in his cell. And another reason, it's not the only reason, but getting this head, a proper Ben Affleck head, that did come on the $9.99 body buck of basically this suit. It works really well in the multiverse figure. So this is the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice 4.5 foot awesomeness that my wife says, where are you going to put it? There's even a person up in the window up there. Nice little touch. With the backdrop is just cardboard. There's nothing behind here. It's just empty plastic. I like the cardboard backing. I wish it extended out beyond here and went all the way down and then filled in all these empty back spaces, which I know would be kind of hard getting a person back through there. I can understand that, but I would have liked to have had, especially with the gargoyle up here at the top, being able to put Batman up here. Let's see if I can do it on camera. So it's nice that Mattel usually has the same size peg holes for all their figures. So there we go. So I don't have him quite posed, but you get the idea. So that'd have been, that's a really cool shot, but if this piece just went a little farther back behind here, I think I'd be able to kind of maybe recreate or just put another cityscape back here. But today we've been taking a look at the very shaky cam Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, trying to get a cool shot here, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do. But you can find this at Walmart. It's a Walmart exclusive. And for probably a 2-week period, everybody was led to believe, oh, this was the prototype and, you know, they just never made it. And then, bam, a few weeks later, it started showing up in Walmart. So it's cool. I like it. I'm glad to have it. So now I got to try and put this thing away. So this has been Rob's Rogues, and thanks for watching. I don't even know what to say now. I'm staring at this thing going, wow, what am I going to do with this now? All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.